Hey y'all, we back. Y'all know I gotta go out today without doing a Jeffrey Williams, better known as Young Thug trial. Yeah, we on day 146, y'all. We've been here for 146 days. I remember when we had StreamYard, live StreamYard. Yes, for them new people who don't know nothing about this channel right here, we don't have StreamYard before, yeah. But they got to do what you got to do. It's a lot of things going on, man. Just do what you got to do. But anyway, all right, Dennis. I think Dennis a little tired. He getting tired of showing up in court. So today he gonna throw some fireballs. Now, maybe the fireballs that he about to shoot at the state, which he's supposed to be on the state side. I think I hope they don't reverse back on him. Let's take a listen.
We basically would be notified by the patrol officer of the shooting. Usually they happen at night, and usually once they would give the name or they would provide us information indicating that it was a family member of. Objection, confrontation clause. Can you rephrase? Sure. Without saying what any of the officers told you, just how did it factor into your investigation? We basically gathered information as they came in, and pretty much every night we had a different shooting, and we were tasked with investigating it. Okay. Outside of Kenneth Copeland, did you learn of other homes of individuals that you all associated with YSL members, their family's home being shot or targeted? Yes. Um, what was one of those addresses? Ruby Harbor. Okay. And whose home did you identify that home belonging to? A family member related to Mr. Williams. And were you ever able to associate Mr. Williams with that home specifically?
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. So Dennis is telling us that some of the information and how he found out what was happening in the area where he's worked on Cleveland Avenue come from social media. You really can't go from social media because they be word and stuff. The community we word and stuff differently. Okay.
Were there any particular social media pages that you all went to or that you saw that informed your investigation? Yes. What were some of those pages? Immediately after the death of Donovan Thomas, there was a fake Instagram, I believe, page created, death to snake N words. And from that, it was almost like a play by play of what was going on or those associated
Hold up.
with Mr. Thomas. They basically were sending threats and telling what the.
Okay, hold up, hold up, hold up. I don't believe you. Because if somebody did, especially from the ATL, if they did a crime, they not about to sit up on social media and talk about the crime like that. Now, this is not a joke. It may be a joke to you, but it ain't a joke to us. Ain't nobody gonna sit on not from the ATL and say what they could, how they committed a crime. No, no, no. I'm not going with that.
Here, I have a rule. Best evidence rule. Best evidence rule. Best evidence rule. Oh, sorry. Best evidence. Do you have? I do. All right. Did you collect or did you all collect some of those posts? Yes.
Judge don't even know what she talking about.
You may. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 546Y. It's 546Y1 object to any hearsay in it. It's being used for the truth of the matter. Your Honor, we're not offering any of the words in there for the truth of the matter, sir, but just to illustrate that that was the post that was given or that was posted on social media. No object to any of the words on the page except for the post. But the death to snakes, if that's what the prosecutor's getting at. But any statement is being used for the truth of the matter, sir. I object. Your Honor, maybe approach. I think it might be a longer.
See, you got to watch. You got to watch Hilton. Cause Hilton is trying to see. First of all, when she handed Dennis that paper, I was like, "Oh, y'all. She didn't show it to y'all before she handed it to them. She thinks she's slick. So she got her hair fixed."
And were those threats directed at anyone? Yes. Who? Overruled. Kenneth Copeland, would it? Okay. Permission to publish the version that we discussed, Your Honor. The first one? Yes. Okay.
Now, hold up.
Permission to publish the version that we discussed, Your Honor. The first one? Yes. You may.
Now look, y'all. Y'all remember this video? Y'all remember that lady? Y'all remember that lady who came in the court? Her son was shot and killed. Remember she said that? They go to pool table right there in that bedroom. That this happened in this. They were speaking on this. The death of Snake. Two Snake. Okay. Well, now I'm sorry. The lady that came in there in the wheelchair. This is her backyard with the pool table. Yeah, that's who Lil Woody brought in there. I don't know what taking so long.
Now, as a part of your investigation, of course, as a part of your investigation, did an individual by the name of Rayshawn Bennett come up as a part of your investigation? Yes. How did he come up as a part of your investigation? At one point, his mother's house was shot up twice. And when, as you were investigating the case, did you ever speak with Quindarius Zachary about anything that could have happened at those two homes? Yes. And did you know anything about those shootings prior to speaking to Mr. Zachary? Yes. What information did you have about those two shootings as a part of your investigation prior to speaking with Mr. Zachary? It could be hearsay. I don't know. It's a broad question, so I'm going to preliminary object to hearsay and confrontation clause. Unless it is narrow. The weapon that Mr. Zachary was caught with in May of 2015 was not even back to the second shooting of Rayshawn Bennett's mother's house where she was shot. In the first shooting of Mrs. Bennett's home, were you familiar with Kelvin Watts? Yes. What about Jamal Baines?
Come on now. Keep the questions
I
coming.
want to take you to some shootings that occurred on January 26th. Do you recall any shootings as a part of your investigation regarding this kind of gang war that occurred on January 26th of 2015? Yes. Right. To your knowledge, how many shootings occurred on January 26th, 2015? Several. Okay. Were you familiar with, as a part of your investigation, Mr. Copeland being shot on the highway on January 26, 2015? Yes. And do you remember that case number was 15-026-0124? I don't remember the case number off the top of my head.
He always thinks something funny.
Was Lucci Mama's house shot on 126, 2015? Yes. And then on that same day was Trevante Turner shot on 126, 2015.
See, y'all kill me, with the police and everything. Anytime they drugs and house and money, you're gonna have some shooting. You're gonna have some shooting. It's too many people owe money, envy of each other, and all of that. You're gonna have that.
And Trevante Turner back in 2015, did he associate with YSL? Yes. And the shooting of Trevante Turner, was that on 198 Stanhope? Yes.
Come on now, Hill.
Let me ask you this: if I'm going to give you 3 APD case numbers. I want you to tell the jury which would be first, second, and
He
third.
said he don't remember.
15-026-0124. 15-026-2672. 15-026-2801.
How he gonna remember that? How out of all of his years and all the things in his life that went on, he just gonna remember their number on the job? When you usually leave work, you forget about that job. You don't want to remember nothing. You go home and do what you gotta do. Come on, Miss Hill. You know he don't remember those numbers. So if he remember those numbers, then y'all don't sit down with him at the coffee table or somewhere and showed him. It's no way he should remember those numbers back in 2015.
Which one would have been the earliest of the day? The one with the zero. Basically, our case numbers are broken down by the Julian date. The Julian date, January 1st, will be 001 and so forth and so on until 365 days. When they come into our 911 dispatch, whatever number that is in the course of the day of incidents, that's what the number is. And so based on those case numbers, the first number would have been first and second and third based on the case number, how they came. So with 01...
I mean, they might not understand. Why did Jerry might not understand, still don't understand what you're saying. So you saying that 00 either 01, 00001, and then 1, 2, something like that. So you got to explain that. Everybody not officers, police officers sitting over there.
124 been the first for that day? Yes. Then 2672? Yes. And then 2801? Correct. And with 2672 and 2801, depending on the activity of that day, be pretty close in time to each other. That's correct. And it basically resets at midnight. So, for example, if something like today was the 16th, if an incident happened overnight on the 15th at midnight, it would become the 16th, even though it's pretty much close in proximity. It's the same time.
She ain't even hear nothing you said. She all over there. She didn't hear you.
28th, 2015, um, did you ever interview a woman by the name of Antrevia Smith? Yes. And what was your reason for interviewing with Miss Smith? Her apartment was shot up on Springdale Road. And did that shooting happen on January 28th, 2015? Yes. And was that 2 days after the last incident we just discussed? Yes. And based on your investigation, do you know if she was the target of that shooting? That would be hearsay and confrontation clause. Overruled. Our residence was the target. I don't think necessarily her, but her residence was. And based on your investigation, were you aware of anyone else staying at her residence during this time period? No objection, Your Honor. Overruled. Based on our interview of her, she explained that that would be confrontation clause. That would also be impeachment. Your Honor, Ms. Smith testified and denied who was in her home. So prior, because this is a statement. Okay, overruled. Mr. Watts was at her home during the shooting. And did she tell you that Mr. Watts was there at the time during the shooting? Yes. And did she provide you during your interview with her a video that she thought that you should have? Yes. And what was that video? Her neighbor had a camera set up in the window pointing outward, so it basically captured the drive-by shooting. Did she provide you any other videos? She provided us a video of Mr. Sledge Motunk and Quindara Zachary basically taunting Mr. Watts and their rivals. And I want to show you what's already been admitted as Exhibit 441Y. It should come up on your screen.
Can't even see that. We can't see that. That's blurry. That's too blurry. That's somebody in there. Oh. That look like little, not Lil Woody, but little, what the other boy name? Who took the stand? Oh, that Moontoon in Little Cleveland Avenue band right there.
Provided to you after she told you that Mr. Watts was in her home when her home was shot up. Yes.
Lil D, yeah. Lil D. That Moontoon and Lil D. So what y'all trying to say, that Lil D and Moontoon shot up that girl home? Or what?
Now, after that, in February 2015, did you, as a part of your investigation, learn of a shooting involving Mr. Watts where he was shot? Yes. And the Donovan Thomas murder, was Mr. Nard suspected to be a shooter? Yes.
It seems like Young Thug trial is a case for the lawyers, for all new lawyers. You know what I mean? Either past 10 months. It look like that the only people that have experience is mostly the defense. And some of he think everything funny.
Okay, so when 15-118-0288.
Oh man. All of a sudden, y'all, he want to stand up in front of her work. Sit your butt down. Now, all of a sudden, that he want to stand up in her while she's showing that information. Hey, they a mess, country.
15-118-0531. 15-118-0588. Is this the order that they would have occurred in that day? Yes. So this would have been first, second, third, and fourth. Correct.
So why you had to write that? And he already spoke on that. Y'all doing too much.
Identify that as. Demonte Kendricks. Okay. 542YB. Demise McMullen. 542YF. Shannon Stillwell Jackson. 542YD. Justin Cobb. And did he have a nickname? Duwop. Now, during your meeting with him, did you just have him also identify other individuals that he knew as part of YSL? Yes. All right. Now showing you 542YE.
So why y'all she's showing him information. Why y'all defense ain't saying, let me see what you about to show them. She flew over there and y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all sleep.
542YC, 542YG, YH, and YI. Tell me if those are the other pictures that you showed him during that interview. Yes, they are. And are those very accurate depictions of the picture that you showed him during his August interview? Yes. This time the state would like to admit State's Exhibit 542YE, 542YC. Talk to you about any conflict or tension he had with an individual by the name of Rich Homie Quan. Yes. What did he tell you about the tension or conflict that he had with Rich Homie Quan? He spoke about he had went to a club. I don't remember the exact date. And when he walked in, he saw Rich Homie Quan. And Rich Homie Quan, cousin or something, no one said nothing to him when he walked in. And then once he got to a certain area, he spoke of how Rich Homie Quan began pointing at him. And his cousin or something had pulled him to the side and basically said, don't do that yet. Don't do that. And he basically explained that he was just there, but he could see how everyone was kind of positioning himself.
Now, y'all, this go back to earlier. Pay attention, y'all. When I be telling y'all something, I study this information. You remember we was talking about, I spoke on Homie Quan today. Yes, I spoke about Homie Quan. Now, his name came up when I told y'all that his name, he was about to get ready, they about to subpoena him to come to court. He had so much on his mind. So right here, Quan, Rich Homie Quan is mixed in hearsay. Listen to this.
And initially he wanted to leave, but he didn't want to look like he was basically scared or something, so he stayed. But it was basically tension in there. Was this before or after January 10th, 2015? This was after. The incident that he was telling you about was after? Yes. When you spoke with Mr. Kendrick, did he acknowledge a beef between YSL and If Gang? Yes. Did he ever speak with you about his desire or wanting to be a member of the Bloods? Yes. In speaking with Mr. Kendrick, did he ever appear to be confused about his understanding of what a gang was? No. During the course course of the interview, did he talk about gang banging or being a part of a gang? Yes. During your interview, did he ever claim to no longer be a part of a gang? He basically spoke about moving on past that as the music was starting to take off, and he basically indicated that he felt like he was a nobody. He didn't respect the gang culture of having like leaders or different stuff like that, and he basically said he deemed himself a blood, so he started being a blood. Did he talk with you about this incident following the fight that we just viewed a few moments ago? Yes. What was he able to tell you about what happened following that fight at Club Crucial? At Magic City. He basically told us how he was filming a video that day, and it kind of fell through, and he got high, had some lean, and was kind of having a bad day, and then his friend Duke called him, basically telling them that they just jumped, and he was like, "Pull up on me," and so they met up somewhere. Well, hold on, you said pull up on me. What does that mean? Meet me somewhere.
She talking about, they ain't talking about killing nobody. Hilton, don't be trying to act like you don't know. You from the ATL, you know what words mean. I don't care what school you go to.
Basically, they met somewhere, and he felt like it wasn't his beef, but he's almost coming to the aid of his friend, and so they came up with the idea of going to retaliate. And when they were stopped, where were they stopped? Where did they see the police at initially? Trestle Tree Apartments. And what is the significance of Trestle Tree Apartments? Trestle Tree is a strong, like a main hangout for Kelvin Watts and If Gang members. Okay. And I'm going to show you what's been admitted.
So you saying that's where If Gang lives? In the Trisha Shroud, wherever you said.
27 DVVP.
All right, I don't think you have to do is identify who these people. They were so young on here. They about to identify them young. I don't even know none of these boys. So young then. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm sorry for moving.
With the chain on it. Okay.
We can't hear him, Hilton. Y'all after thug and these old coons. Now that right there over there at Grant Park, over there in Grant Park, off of Moreland. I know where them apartments at.
Their actions or to humiliate their opposition. A lot of times, it's almost as if no one knows about it, then it didn't happen. So it's an opportunity to showcase what we did or to highlight what we did.
Objection on commenting on someone's intent, Your Honor. 704.
Sustained. So don't what have you found? Let me ask you this. You talked about sometimes music can highlight, taunt, and humiliate. How have you seen examples of that as you've investigated, as a gang investigator? How have you seen that type of highlighting, taunting, and humiliation in music? said, how have I seen it? Yes. For example, the song "Get It Back in Blood." "Get It Back in Blood" is basically celebrating retaliation, um, illustrating to anybody that I'm gonna get it back in blood. You do something to me, I'm gonna retaliate to get it back in blood, and it basically spells it out in the song. And as a law enforcement officer, or gang investigator specifically, when you're doing your investigation, do you look for music and then start your investigation, or are you investigating crime?
Action asked and answered previously.
Well, I don't know the answer to that.
She did, Judge. Don't try to be nonchalant. Yes, she did. She did. Don't do that.
Because I wasn't here when you testified previously. I don't recall specifically. That's all I say. I can't recall if he specifically talked about it. I don't recall. Do you recall whether you already talked about this? Judge, I've been here 3 times. I don't. I'm trying to keep up myself.
Okay, well, yeah. Why don't you just, if you need to hit that briefly, to
Just
go
very
ahead
quick.
and do that.
Can you repeat the question? Sure. Do you, when you're investigating, do you look for music and say, let me investigate this person, or does the music somehow come a part of the investigation?
Relevant, Your Honor.
Overruled.
We don't chase music, we chase crime. And through our investigation, all things are on the table. My job, when I work,
To what his job is, Your Honor, this is not appropriate.
okay. In a song, when you may listen to a song that might have evidence of whether it's a crime or what you call highlighting, taunting, or humiliation, is the entire song often the subject of the humiliation, taunting, and highlighting, or might there be certain portions?
Sustained.
When you're hearing a song, does the entire song always humiliate, taunt, and highlight, or could it be portions of the song that humiliate, taunt, and highlight? Just a portion. It might be a subliminal message.
So y'all. So you saying
It's the same thing, the intent.
that a portion of a song intimidates a person? That's not how rap go. That's not. They do talk about their crime, though. Be honest, y'all. They do talk about their crime, but them police officers did not listen to no songs when they trying to do something. They trying to see who did commit the crime. They ain't worried about no songs. Sonny Williams worried about the song.
Overruled. And talk to the jury a little bit about subliminal messaging and how that can, what that looks like in a song.
Beyond expertise, we never had a Daubert hearing on
Yes,
this.
we did.
Not
Your
on
Honor,
this.
I have the Daubert order.
All right, we didn't have to take either a break or approach.
Take an approach. Not no break. Ain't nobody got time to be taking no break. Take the approach, honey.
How long? I mean, I would imagine it's pretty long, right?
I have it, but I didn't see the link.
Unless that's searchable. You were here for an hour?
So it's the court's ruling in regards to Detective Dennis not being able to testify about subliminal messages or anything like that. And just going really to the basic issue of what he was qualified for. I'm just going to take my direction from the transcript that was thankfully sent to us by Ms. Pressfield, as well as the court's actual order. Let me say first that the Daubert hearings were held initially back in December of 22, but I think Detective Dennis, if I'm remembering correctly, was one of those who we weren't able to do then, so he may have been in 2023. That notwithstanding, I don't have any recollection of the questioned or talking about his ability to interpret lyrics as part of his expertise. And so if we're relying on what the court ordered or what the court ruled, I look at page 6 of the court. I don't know you have it in front of you.
I do.
The court's order, which was drafted by the state.
It's adopted by the court, though, so that's
Right.
really neither here nor there. Go ahead.
Right. And so I just know that there is nothing in there where he is qualified to testify about anything in regards to any lyrics, in regards to interpretation of rap lyrics, nothing in regards to his training or his qualification thereof. So we maintain our position that he is not qualified to testify
Okay,
about
well,
what the state intends to qualify.
I thought that what y'all were looking back at was the live stream of the Daubert hearing.
We couldn't find it.
Okay, well, the order on page 5 says that Detective Dennis also, quote, has extensive experience in evaluating their social media and communication practices, unquote. So if nobody can answer for me one way or another what it covered, and you maintain that you don't think it covered this, or you don't know what it covered, I'm happy to just have him come in here and let's hear his expertise on that and go on with it.
We're fine, because
All right.
we do not accept that when the court says communication patterns, that they're talking specifically about rap lyrics. That's our
I don't know. Let's get him in here. If nobody can remember. And we don't have a transcript.
And y'all don't have a transcript.
Yeah, I need the detective, please. And Miss Hilton, did either of y'all handle the Daubert on this witness?
No, Your Honor, and what he was qualified in is a gang expert, and I am positive he talks about how gang members
Were you
use
there?
music.
Were you there
I was
for it?
present.
Okay.
And how
Is this from your memory?
this is from my memory, how music can play a role in gang promotion, how music can play a role in gang, in the promotion of the gang, and that is what we're talking about. We're not.
We already know that, Miss Hilton. But you don't know is he can identify that situation. We know he may be qualified, but at that time, y'all wasn't thinking about no lyrics.
Talking about lyrics and musicology, but how does music play a role in the game?
Do you recall the Daubert hearing involving you in this case? Do you remember whether you testified to your expertise and experience in terms of looking at lyrics and songs and using those in your gang investigations? Okay. Given that, anybody want to voir dire him on that topic, not his expertise, but whether he in fact testified about that already in the Daubert hearing? Yeah.
We talked about lyrics the last time I was here with the halftime song, me and Mr. Adams. Also, the last time I testified, the second time.
Is it going to be anything beyond that? Same type of testimony?
No, that's it, Your Honor. I mean, it is how how do gangs use music? Period.
What's your question going to be?
whether or not he is qualified to do any interpretation of music, rap lyrics as relates to his expertise in gangs. Not whether or not he's familiar with communication patterns of gangs, but specifically whether he can look at a particular rap lyric
Right.
and make any interpretation about what that means to
So what he's saying, y'all, is he a qualified person can say that I commit a crime the way I'm rapping about that person. That's what he's saying. No, that detective's not qualified to do that. He know that.
specifically in regards to this case.
Is that something that was already covered in the Daubert hearing?
Yes.
All right, we're not going to recover it. I mean, I don't have any reason to not believe this witness.
What?
Okay. Let's get the jury. Well, honestly, we should just let the jury go out to lunch at this point. How long are we
And she said like an hour and a half. It's really not an hour and a half. Hilton wants it to be an hour and a half. Now I think that the detective can be qualified, but is it part of his work as an investigator to investigate music? That's what they saying. That's their job to. That's the defense job to go and make sure and look that up and see is he qualified for that. Seem like I don't met Dennis before, not to go with, but seem like I met him before.
His expertise on that and go on with it.
We're fine, because
All right.
we do not accept that when the court says communication patterns, that they're talking specifically about rap lyrics. That's our.
I don't know. Let's get him in here.
Didn't watch it yet.
How long? I mean, I would imagine it's pretty long, right?
I haven't, but I didn't see the link.
Unless that's searchable. You were here for an hour? Okay. I don't think it's. Yeah. Yes. That is so cool. Most of the time. So, if you give me like words? Yes. That's amazing. If you give me a few minutes. Okay. We'll know if this one is searchable. Did you send it to me? Somebody be looking at the transcript that we have and
Just be quiet, Judge.